Hey everyone, it's Allie and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going over a comparison that I've been seeing online. I had heard about this comparison from my friend Jennifer, and she had seen it in one of Demi Rawlings' videos where she was talking about dupes, and that is one of my favorite Parfum de Marly scents, Meliora, being compared to Amethyst by Lalique. And from what they say, Lalique is a dupe for Meliora, which really had me interested because this one is about $305 on the website. And this one was like ridiculously cheap. I think it was like in the $20 range. And I had seen this one at TJ Maxx in the past, and I always slept on it because I was like, oh, the packaging just didn't scream to me. And I had been wishing that I would have grabbed it because Lord knows I would have been grabbing a dupe for this. And what I do want to say is that they are extremely similar. I won't say they're an identical dupe, but it's about 95% close. But there are definitely some similarities from Lalique to Meliora. And that's what I'm going to be going into today. So I'm going to spray Meliora on this hand just to get that initial spray. And Lalique on the other hand. And on initial spray, it is very, very similar. They open up the same, a burst of berries and a very sensual vanilla. Parfums de Marly Meliora has red berries, cassis, black currant, rose, lily of the valley, ylang ylang, vanilla, and musk. Lalique Amethyst has also black currant. It has blueberry, mulberry, strawberry, peony pepper, ylang ylang, rose, musk, bourbon vanilla, and woody notes. So the Lalique Amethyst one has quite a bit more going on in it, but it surprisingly smells almost identical to Meliora. On initial opening, you get a burst of berries in both of them and a really sexy, sensual vanilla. The vanilla inside of Amethyst is a bit darker, a little bit denser. It's still very sensual, but there's something a bit denser, and it's, I want to say, a little bit more boozy. There's this sort of boozy undertone that's like in the base with the vanilla. That's probably coming from the bourbon vanilla, but also a little bit from the woody notes as well. I feel like the woody notes are a lot more prominent in Lalique Amethyst and add a little bit more of a sharpness, but also what adds a bit of a sharpness to this fragrance is the fact that it's all dark berries. Parfums de Marly Meliora revolves around red berries, particularly raspberry, which is a red berry. And usually I find that with red berries, they tend to be a lot more smoother. Darker berries and fragrances tend to have a sharpness to them. And I find that with Lalique Amethyst, there is a sharpness to the berries that isn't as well rounded out as you find in Meliora. Meliora is a lot more refined and it's a lot more well blended. I feel like Amethyst is also pretty well blended, but it's not as refined. When you smell Meliora, you are smelling quality and you get it right off the bat when you're smelling it. It's very well rounded. There aren't any sharp corners to the fragrance. It's extremely smooth, and I don't find the same to be with Amethyst. I find that there's a sharpness to it because it's using such sharp tart berries in it, opposed to red, sweet, more well-rounded berries. Not that it's bad or anything, it is very beautiful, but I definitely pick up a lot on that blackberry note, and blackberry is a lot sharper than raspberry. Like I said before, raspberry is extremely smooth. It's more well-rounded. It's a lot friendlier to the nose than I feel like darker berries tend to be. I love darker berries and fragrances. I think they add like a unique, cool twist to fragrance, but they're also a lot sharper because they have a tartness to them. They're a little bit more on the sour side, and I definitely pick that up with my nose, that there is a little bit of a sourness going on that you don't really get with the Parfum de Marly Meliora. The Meliora is smoother, it's creamier, it's very well-rounded, well-blended without being aggressive. And another thing that I noticed was the longevity differences between the two. If longevity is something that you don't really care about, then Lalique Amethyst will be a really good option, especially if you don't mind taking it around and respraying it. I find that with that one, I get about 4 hours or so on my skin before it dies into like a really close to the skin scent. It'll last a little longer on clothes, but I get about 4 hours wear time before I have to reapply. With Meliora, I find that I can go up to 7 hours without having to reapply. So for me, that's almost my entire day, and I smell it all throughout my day, and it's on clothes forever. Like if I spray it on clothes, I can smell it up to the next day. I have sprayed it on one of my jackets before, and like I smelled it for a good 2 days after spraying my jacket with it, and that was pretty cool. I don't find the same to be true with Amethyst, unfortunately. I think if I spray it on clothes, I can get maybe like 7 or so hours on clothes, and the wear on my skin is about 4 hours, so it's not the greatest wear. But if you're looking for something cheap, inexpensive, and you were thinking of buying Parfums de Marly Meliora, but you were scared of making that investment, because this is an investment, it is $305, it's more on the pricey side. If you were too scared to try this one, I highly suggest you get your hands on this one, because if you enjoyed this one, then you're definitely gonna enjoy this one if that's something that you're looking into buying. Just know that this isn't as smooth, and it's not as well refined as this one is. This one is extremely well refined. It is a very smooth fragrance. There are no sharp edges. This one is extremely non-offensive. I can't imagine people being put off by this one at all. It's very refreshing. It's sweet. It's sensual. And that burst of berries is what gets me in the opening of this. I love raspberry. I love how smooth it is. And this is chock full of raspberry, and it's so, so beautiful. Or was it raspberry? Yeah, raspberry. I had to think about it for a second. I was like, did I say blackberry or raspberry? No, raspberry. Chock full of raspberry, and it's absolutely delicious. This one, of course, has a bunch of dark berries, which is really beautiful and really unique. And isn't as well refined, and has a bit of a sharp edge to it, but it's very, very beautiful, and it's a very close dupe. If I had to give it a number, I'd say it's about 95% close to Meliora. But again, like, you can't really compare the quality of the two. If you're big on quality, I would say go for this one. If you want to get a sense of what this one is going to be like, then I say get this one. Because like I said, if you enjoyed this one, you will definitely enjoy this one like tenfold. But this one will last a lot longer on the skin. And just is overall absolutely beautiful. Like, even though I love this one a lot, but I hate the longevity of it personally, this could be good for people that don't like committing to fragrances and like to wear different fragrances all throughout the day, because this will only last a few hours. At least on me it did. It might be different on you. It's all very dependent on skin chemistry and how it works with you personally. Personally, this one didn't work the greatest on me, but that's not too bad, because for the price, how can you beat it? It was like 20 something bucks. And I've seen this before at TJ Maxx, so if this is something you're interested in, like I said, definitely check out your TJ Maxx. Definitely check out places like Ross or Marshall's, those kinds of stores that carry fragrances, because you're more than likely going to run into this, and you will probably do the same thing I did and be unimpressed with the packaging and think it looks kind of boring and look over it. And that is my biggest mistake when I go out looking for fragrances. Sometimes I will look at the packaging first, and then I skip out on it. I've done it with so many fragrances that I look back on and I was like, God dang, I wish I would have grabbed that thing, because I know I would have enjoyed it, but I looked at the box and I was like, boring, and like tossed it off to the side, when in reality it was a little hidden gem just sitting in front of me. So that's my only thing I would say, is keep your eye out, and that's something that, you know, you're looking for, but definitely check into these. You can also find this one, I believe, on Fragrance Net and Fragrance X. I suggest looking for it on there if you can't go into stores and you're looking online. And yeah, I will link everything down below where you can find these two. Until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on my next one. Bye.